Taxes was feeling so stuck. Sitting in traffic, squeezing into a parking spot, all to squeeze in getting tax help during your lunch break. Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert who does your taxes for you, while you go about your day getting real-time notifications about their progress and the most money back guaranteed. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. Get an expert now on TurboTax.com. Only available with TurboTax Live Full Service, real-time updates only in iOS mobile apps. See guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantees.
This is Scoot from the Cleveland Sports Fan Network, here to tell you about our new lineup for the rest of 2021 and beyond. We still have your favorites like Oshimida and the Fan on Mondays, our flagship show, the Cleveland Sports Fan, on Tuesdays. Wednesday has the Burley Gunner Show. Thursday is the Four Chubs, a roundtable show hosted by Burley Gunner. And on Friday, Pit Road News, a NASCAR, F1, and IndyCar talk show hosted by Scoot, the Cleveland sports fan himself. New episodes every day at 6 a.m. Eastern. Visit us at redcircle.com/Cleveland-sport-fan.
Welcome to the law firm of Davis and Davis. We're not a real law firm.
Go ahead, grab a beer, a glass of wine, sit back and listen. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Davis and Davis, the law firm that doesn't do any law.
You broke a law, we don't care.
We just don't give a shit. Today is a good day. Today is Maker's Mark and Coke Zero, folks.
Beautiful. I am imbibing in a couple of Ohio beers. One from Columbus, Brew Dogs. This is a IPA with Passion and United by Brewdog. Yes, grapefruit infused IPA, very good stuff. And then I also have some Great Lakes Commodore Perry IPA. So, because the store that carries my alcohol apparently caught fire this evening, I go to my local Acme store, and there is a ladder truck and a sheriff and fire department SUV and guys in fire and everybody's outside. And I'm like, this doesn't bode well for me buying some bourbon this evening. So, c'est la vie. Went down to another store, got me some beers. Life is good.
Now What's funny about this is people from other states are sitting there laughing right now because you said Acme, and nobody realizes that it's a real store.
Yeah. It used to be Acme Click, and Acme stores have been big in Ohio for a long, long time.
They're not Clicks anymore?
No, I think Clicks are all gone. I believe.
Because it was Clicks all the way through my life. And what type of cooler is that you have that in?
Once again, sponsored by Brewmate Coolers. This is the same cup that I've been using for all my gin and vodkas and everything. It also converts into a beautiful 12-ounce can holder. There's actually... It is a killer koozie. There is actually a small piece in the bottom that you can freeze to keep your beer even colder while it's sitting inside of the brewmate. Yeah, awesome product. Highly recommend.
All right, everyone. Everyone, get onto your phones right now and
order stuff to help you drink more alcohol.
Call them up and tell them to sponsor Davis and Davis, the law firm that doesn't do law. Now, last week we started talking about something that was highly interesting, and
you got really excited about. So I said we've got to do a whole show on it.
An entire show. I don't know if we could do an entire show on it. Yeah,
I think this is going to be you rambling and me reacting more than anything else, because I think you're a little more involved in the music scene and theater scene up there than I was. So
Okay, so the viewers or so the listeners understand, this is just Burke saying, I didn't do any homework for this, so you need to carry the show.
yeah, maybe a little bit. I honestly, I tried, man, and there's just not a lot of stuff out there. I mean, although I did find out that the wife of one of the Belkins realized that she had 30 years of T-shirts in her attic, and she actually wrote a book, and it's like I think it has like pictures of all these T-shirts and concert events and stuff like that, kind of a visual representation of all these shows down the years and everything, which was kind of just came out in 2018. So I'm kind of thinking I might buy that book.
I saw the interview on YouTube when I was doing my research and all that. And Jules was still alive because he does an interview with her when they were talking about it.
So was it Fran? Was that her name?
Fran is her name.
Okay.
And it was a very interesting video. It's actually what kind of sparked everything in my head as to how much Cleveland is the center of rock and roll. Jules Belkin was probably the largest live music producer in the world.
Yeah, there was a point when he kind of dominated everything because he was doing stuff. It wasn't just Cleveland and Ohio with him. He was doing shit.
He was doing
on the West Coast, if I recall.
Huge tours. I mean, the Kiss tour was not a Belkin production. That was done down here in Texas. As a matter of fact, Gemini Stage Lighting here in Dallas was the first touring company to work with Kiss. But he did get some really, really huge name. I mean, the U2 concert that I went to in 1985 or 84 was a Belkin production. I actually have my ticket stub from a concert in the 70s that I didn't actually go to. My brother did. It was Michael Stanley Band.
Okay.
And for people who are not from Northeast Ohio, you do know Michael Stanley Band from his one song, My Town.
Maybe two.
Maybe two songs.
Yeah.
Well,
Do You Love Her was a pretty decent hit. And This Town Is My Town was a pretty big hit.
My Town was a big hit, and what he tried to do with it was he tried to make a version for every
city. Yeah.
The guy wasn't dumb.
No.
But
yeah, he was. But these guys were actually his managers.
Yeah, Jules and Mike. Mike was Jules' brother, and they were partners in the business. They were the ones that found that niche in the market, and they started to specialize in concerts for coliseums. Now, not open air, not.
There were only two. I was reading that there were only two open air concert series going on back in the early 70s, and they were one of the two. The other one was in San Diego someplace and everything. But
yeah,
would you like to hear that 1974 lineup?
Oh yes.
Okay, it's the Beach Boys, Joe Walsh, Barnstorm, Leonard Skinner, and REO Speedwagon.
Wow.
Not a bad group, for rock and what do they call that damn thing? World Series of Rock. That's what it was called back then. And they did that from 74 to 80, I believe.
Joe Walsh. Joe Walsh was huge in Cleveland. He actually
in Kent. I mean, everybody who lives in Kent has a story about going and seeing him playing at the bars, and every time he comes on the TV, it's like, oh, hey, local boy does good for him.
So one of the things that I wanted to talk about was how we get a lot of people asking why the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's in Cleveland. We get a lot of people saying, "Well, why?" And there's places like Nashville that are the home to country music.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then New Orleans is Creole style.
Yeah.
Zydeco music.
And you've got the rap centers of New York and L.A. and they can battle each other out for that. But yeah.
Jules and Mike Belkin made Cleveland the home of rock and roll. But not only did they do it with the big shows, they did it with the smaller shows that went into places like the Agora. I know anyone who is a historian in Cleveland has heard Bruce Springsteen at the Agora in 1978, I think it was.
I believe so, yeah. Yep.
Probably one of the best and most bootlegged show I've ever seen or heard in my life. But for some reason, Cleveland became the hub. Well, it's not just some reasons.
Well, they were heavily partnered up with WMMS also.
That was the next thing to come in.
Yeah.
WMMS was an independent station in Cleveland, but it was the rock and roll station in Cleveland. If you were a rock and roll artist, the only radio station, there were 2 radio stations to go to in Cleveland. There was WMMS and WGCL.
Oh, yes, GCL. I was going to say WJW, but yeah, you are correct. Yep.
Well,
WJW was later, I believe.
WGCL had a guy named Uncle Vic who was...
God, I forgot about him.
who was a radio DJ who... He was huge. He was syndicated. You heard him all over the U.S. It came from Cleveland. And it was kind of the same thing with WMMS. WMMS and Westwood One worked in tandem with each other to put concerts out on radio stations all across America. And all that started in Cleveland.
They would airplay unknowns. You know, if they liked your sound, they would play you on the radio. Just plain and simple, like, you know, pirate radio damn near. But yeah, I mean, they were great. They would take, well, I mean, Bowie, for instance, wouldn't be big in the US if it wasn't for MMS. They, you know, pushed him and people were like, oh, that's not bad. And even like quasi punk bands even got a lot of airplay on MMS back in the day. Bands from Akron, as a matter of fact, that were just, you know, unknowns, and they got airplay.
How do you think Devo got started?
Oh yeah.
You know, everyone says it was MTV. It wasn't MTV. WMMS
put them on the map.
WMMS put them on the map by playing their music first. We have to kind of keep on track here because there's a lot to go through. The thing about Cleveland and the Cleveland area is that we had the venues. We had the Richfield Coliseum.
Saw a couple concerts there in my day. Yep.
We had Municipal Stadium.
Yep.
Which
that was the Indians,
Browns.
Yeah.
Big round thing that could hold 100,000 people, but could only be used three months out of the year.
Time slots were limited because it was open air. It was literally open air.
It was literally open air, and the other venue that really made its mark in America was Blossom Music Center. Blossom Music Center started to be built in 1967, I do believe. I know it opened in 68, so it could have been 67 or 65 or 66, somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there.
The the thing about Blossom Music Center is that this amphitheater became the model for amphitheaters across the country. And the reason that it became the model is Belkin Productions, that was their stable, that was one of their stable venues. So they would send the ground plans for that venue out, and all of a sudden people are building the exact same venue over and over. And, you know, some things change here and there, but the fact is that you have a lawn that holds 15,000 people, and you have 15,000 people or 10,000 people underneath the balcony.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Before you go on, I have 3 words for you.
Ooh.
Mighty, mighty Boss Stones.
That's now, how many concerts did you go to with me?
That might have been the one. That was it
was a Lollapalooza.
Yeah, it was a Lollapalooza. Yeah.
But no, you went to Bare Naked Ladies with me up at the Rock and Roll
that's
Hall
right.
of Fame as well.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah. That was a good time. That was a
great show.
That was televised. That was set up for MTV, if I recall.
It was set up for MTV just prior to the
opening
nominations and the grand opening of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
It was on the front lawn of the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, we couldn't even get into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and that was a free show, if I recall.
It was.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was a great time.
I was like, this is great, man.
Yeah.
That wasn't even Belkin.
But anyway, we digress. Yeah, but because we were this man on the other side of the screen had a lot of beers, and the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones are on, and he would just turn around and go, "It's the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones," and just every 5 seconds, it was like Rosette going, "I love you, man. It's the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones." Every 5 seconds, like, yes, Scott, we know. Yes, they're on the stage. We can see them. Thank you. Hey, wait, Scott, who's on stage? It's the Mighty Mighty. Okay, good.
Bare Naked Ladies was at that concert as well.
Yes, and
they were the headliner.
Soul Coughing was on the top of the hill behind us, which I had actually discovered them like the year before or something as this really bizarre shit, but good stuff.
Rollins. What was
Henry Rollins? Was he there?
Henry Rollins was on the upper stage earlier in the day.
Oh God, I don't think I hit him. I would have loved to have seen him.
Yeah, that was a heck of a lineup, man.
Anyway,
so we were talking about that. I heard that bum 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 bum, and I went, "Oh, it's the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones."
Dun, 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 dun. Yep. Yeah, you were jamming. You were off in your own world. Anyway, so we were talking about that venue being the archetype for Belkin to send out to the rest of the world.
That venue was the base for a lot of amphitheaters, and there's been so many shows that have come through that building.
Oh dear God, I wouldn't even. Yeah, how many thousands of shows have been there? And oh yeah.
Now it's I hate to get away from Jules right now. I really do, because Jules is such a pivotal part, but there was a point in time in Cleveland history where the Belkin brothers ended up stopping producing, and players like AEG and Live Nation came into play, and they are still the big players in Cleveland at this point in time. But the big tours, the Doobie Brothers, Pink Floyd, U2, which even back then was not a big tour, guys. Yeah, that was a small tour.
Yeah, they were the openers at that point in time. Yeah, Gloria was their one song. That was it.
Everyone that loves Eric Clapton, did you know that he was actually the opening band for Michael Stanley?
Holy shit.
He was the opening band at Blossom Music Center.
God damn.
For the Michael Stanley Band. The big man on the saxophone. Mr. Clarence Clemens, the sax player for Bruce Springsteen, actually played songs for Michael Stanley.
No shit.
Yes.
That's pretty fucking cool.
Everyone, the person who wrote the parts for the song Lover, the saxophone parts, that's Clarence Clemens.
So, who was also in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. God bless his soul.
So having Jules and Mike living in Cleveland created this great opportunity for bands in Cleveland to be heard. Hence, we go towards the things like Devo.
Wild Cherry.
Play
that funky music, white boy. That was, that they put them on the map.
Warrant.
James Gang.
Warrant was Cherry Pie, right?
Yep.
Janie Lane. That's who was the lead on that.
As far as I know, still lives in Akron and Copley, if I recall.
Janie died.
Nope, my bad. I'm bad at that shit anymore. I'm getting old and not remembering who's passed away. Well, we have a mutual friend who lived literally next door to him.
Yeah. Totally next. As a matter of fact, he came down here. He came down to Dallas to do a show over at Firewater. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go over there. So I go over. All you have to do at a concert is have a shirt that says something like Davis Lighting Designs.
And you can go anywhere?
That on the back says, life is a freak show. We just light it. And for some reason, no security tries to stop you. So I proceeded to walk right up to his tour bus.
You weren't lighting the show.
I didn't even pay for a ticket. Walk up, knock on the door. Hey, JD. I'm friends with Carl. Oh, man. I hope he turned off my garage lights.
I'll check.
I'll call him. So I got to see Warrant basically for free.
Nice.
But the I guess the point that I'm making is that having all of these top-notch venues. Well, I say top-notch. I worked at the Richfield Coliseum. It was not top-notch.
Oh God, that the worst acoustic. I mean, it was just like cement cube. The worst acoustics in the world. I saw the Who there and was deaf for days. It was the only big indoor place we had up there. And frankly, if you lived in Ohio, you needed something to do in the middle of winter, and it was go to there and watch a show.
I saw U2, Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Kiss and the Plasmatics, which
shit, I'd rather see the Plasmatics actually.
Frankie Goes to Hollywood.
That'd be a good show. I saw the Purple Rain tour with Sheila E. opening up for Prince and the Revolution. That was phenomenal.
I enjoyed working there. But it was definitely a nightmare. Okay, so the two places that I worked the most was This is Scoot from the Cleveland Sports Fan Network, here to tell you about our new lineup for the rest of 2021 and beyond. We still have your favorites like Oshimida and the Fan on Mondays, our flagship show, the Cleveland Sports Fan, on Tuesdays. Wednesday has the Burley Gunner Show. Thursday is the Four Chubs, a roundtable show hosted by Burley Gunner. And on Friday, Pit Road News, a NASCAR, F1, and IndyCar talk show hosted by Scoot, the Cleveland sports fan himself. New episodes every day at 6 a.m. Eastern. Visit us at redcircle.com/Cleveland-sport-fan. University of Akron's
the
theater.
Jar Arena?
No, the theater.
Uh,
The theater with the big chrome cylinders that tell you whether the ceiling's up or down. E.J. Thomas Hall. So I worked at E.J. Thomas Hall in Richfield Coliseum. The Richfield Coliseum was, 30 miles outside of Cleveland?
Yeah, about the halfway point between us and Cleveland, yeah.
It was where the big stars would go. We didn't have Rocket Center, is it?
Rocket Stadium? No, now it's Qualcomm.
The Rocket Center, I think.
Fuck whatever. Yeah.
Fuck it.
Changes names every day. Hard to tell.
Yeah. But it's but Cleveland didn't have a lot of venues downtown at that point in time. In the 80s, Jules and Mike actually pushed a bunch of places to open up. So in the 80s, you started seeing places like the Odeon being built. The Nautica stage, which I do believe, if I remember this correctly, I think Jules and Mike had a huge part in paying for that to be built. And originally, Nautica stage was not a permanent venue.
Was that why they have the canvas covering on the roof?
That was the canvas covering actually came in. I think that was the second year. I went to see a show there when they didn't have the canvas, and it just was a downpour. And who was it? It was Sebastian Bach. What was his Skid Row?
Yes.
So I went to see Skid Row there, and really, if anyone gets a chance to see a show at Nautica stage, do it.
It's a great venue. I mean, the backdrop alone is worth the price of admission. You just got you got the river turning right there, and there's usually like 30 or 40 boats just kind of chilling, listen to the music on the river right there. You got a beautiful bridge, beautifully lit. Yeah, it's a great venue. I think I saw Tangerine Dream, as I recall, at the Nautica. Is the only show I saw there. But yeah, great place, and acoustics are awesome because you're outdoors. There's nothing.
Well, it's outdoors.
There's nothing really to bounce off. Yeah, it's a great place.
It's right on the river. It's right on the river by the revolving bridge, and it's probably my favorite venue in Cleveland to go see a show. It was built by Dick Jacobs. So there you go.
Okay.
So that's why it was originally called. Well, it was
Jacobs
originally
Pavilion?
called Nautica Stage, and then it was changed to the Scene Pavilion, and then it was changed to Jacobs Pavilion. So Jacobs Pavilion, that's her.
Yep.
The big tent on the yeah. Anyways, oh, whoa. Sorry.
Either you lost your drink or that flying thing is attacking you again. One of the two.
No, I had my phone in my pocket. I have it muted so that you can't hear it, but the vibrator on these iPhones, man, you could tape that to somebody and it would just
text. Oh,
wow. Anyways, back to what we were talking about. So Dick Jacobs and all this, they make this big huge monster of a rock and roll city. And now people like Dick Jacobs are coming in and they're helping and they're gonna build. We get a House of Blues.
Yeah, that's right.
Which one of my friends on Facebook used to be the technical director there. Now, what other venues did we have there? Oh, well, you can't really rule out the convention center, but that's the music hall at the convention center is one of. I saw Daryl Hall and John Oates at the music hall.
I would kill to see them. That'd be a great show. I saw Nine Inch Nails there, if I recall.
I bet the place about fell down with how loud it was.
That was a good show.
So, anyways, you now have about 8 venues within 30 miles of each other. 8
varying
venues.
Sizes, capacities, acoustics, but yeah, you could tailor it to whatever you wanted.
But You're probably going to have to keep the date July 2nd, 2022 open.
Why is that? What do we got going on? Hold on. What is that? Go ahead, say it.
It would be Bare Naked Ladies' Last Summer on Earth tour.
Where's this at?
Nautica Stage.
Oh, Christ. All right. So we're just putting that. You said the 22nd?
That is the July 2nd, 2022. They already have
July 22nd. That's a Friday. Alrighty.
July 2nd.
Second. Whoa. July 2nd is a Saturday. One day after my wife's birthday. She'll probably hate me.
Of course she will.
I mean, she probably already hates me, but you know.
Bare
Naked Ladies. All right, we have put that. We put that in the calendar.
Holy crap! They have. How much are the VIP tickets? I have to look.
Oh, come on! You've got to have some connections. Come on.
I know I've got some connections, but
all right, well,
but you know, okay. Even with the connections that I have, I tend to pay for shows. I know how upset I get when I don't get paid.
Fair enough.
So I don't mind spending $170 for a VIP ticket where I get to meet the band.
Fair enough.
I don't go to concerts that often. Bare Naked Ladies' last concert, I think it's worth it. Sorry.
Yeah, my boss at work. Well, I take that back. The guy who used to own where I work stopped in the other day, and he's like, "Hey, do you still sing that Bare Naked Ladies song for you know, at bars and shit?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's been a while, but yeah." I was like, "Dude, you were amazing. You had every word. I was fucking blown away." Yeah. He was the owner. He was a little on the crazy side. Bless his soul. But yeah, that's the first thing he comes at. "You still do that Bare Naked Ladies?" Yeah, chickadee China. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, got it.
Bare Naked Ladies. Yes, that kind of cracks me. Tickets are on sale right now, so I may talk to you after this and
all right, yeah, we'll do that.
Figure something out here because yeah.
Are you going to be in Ohio at that time, or are you going to have to come to Ohio?
Well, that's a discussion.
For another time and off the air, or
That's a discussion that can't take place at this point in time.
fair enough. All right.
There are
There are whisperings. There are, I cannot confirm or deny those allegations.
There are cogs turning. There are, brakes squealing. There are people around certain areas and from my past sitting back in a chair right now going, oh, fuck no.
All right. Say hello, Kitty.
Oh, he's back. What are you doing, buddy?
He's just sitting here wanting some pets. But I think we need to put a pause on this and take a break. Break time. And we're back.
Yeah.
Cat. Okay, so I have papers on my desk. The cat must sit on them. Say goodbye, cat.
Goodbye, cat. All right, so we started to talk about the largest. Man, I can't even say that it was the largest rock series that there ever was, because there has been others that have outdone this. But I'm gonna.
The reason that they have those massive rock shows are because of these guys, Belkin, MMS, the whole. Yeah, we were both just looking at this massive list of because they did more than one show a year. I mean, there's 3 shows in 1974 alone, and we're talking Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Santana, Beach Boys, Rolling Stones, 1975, the Rolling Stones.
Oh,
for fuck's sake! I mean,
the freaking list gets better as it goes along.
Yeah, but like they weren't just. It was not the Rolling Stones and 3 other Tower Power, Jay Giles, and Joe Vitale's Mammoth. So I mean, it wasn't just the Stones. It was 3 other bands.
Jay Giles
Walsh,
band.
Yes, Michael Stanley.
I mean,
Aerosmith, Blue Oyster Cult, Ted Nugent, Todd Rundgren, Nazareth. Floyd was its only show. They were the only people at that particular show. It was 1977. So Jay Giles, Frampton, Bob Seger, Kansas, ELO, Foreigner, Journey, the Cars, Eddie Money, Aerosmith, Thin Lizzy, AC/DC. Yeah, I mean, Judas Priest. That was just their
the Scorpions.
Outdoor shit. Yeah. Thin Lizzy. Yeah. Eddie Money. Yeah.
Journey twice.
I know, right?
Twice.
Dude, REO Speedwagon in 74 was a nobody band. They might not even had Cronin singing at that point. I think Back on the Road Again might have been their only hit at that point.
That's there's okay. Anybody that is a fan of Cleveland rock history, there's a book by a gentleman named John Gorman, and the book is called The Buzzard, and it talks about the glory days of WMMS and how much. Okay, WMMS was so big that they would hold a concert at Blossom Music Center for free every year, and it was a big name. I went to the Bruce Hornsby
freebie
show. I mean, they would at places. I think the statistic that stood out to me the most was the fact that they averaged $60,000 or 60,000 people in attendance. That was an average across venues that only hold 30,000 people. they were the gods of rock and roll. And honestly, everyone, well, I think everyone knows that I also do the Cleveland Sports Fan. I wanted WMMS and the Indians to make some sort of a deal and become the Cleveland Buzzards.
That would have been cool.
Best logo ever.
Yeah, and nobody would be offended. That logo, the buzzard, was not because of Hinckley. It was somebody's idea of satire. The buzzard circling around the dead body was their idea. And then all of a sudden they just took off and it turned it around, and then everyone embraced the buzzard. Yeah, good shit.
The Hinckley reference refers to whip sledges.
The buzzards return to Hinckley every year, or almost on the same day every year. Yeah,
they return to the metro parks there in Hinckley, Ohio, every year, and proceed to peck the eyeballs out of the little kids that are watching it. I know that that's not really what happens, but I wanted to make sure that people were listening.
And if it did, I'd be okay with that too. Yeah. Serves them right. Buzzard's going, "Get off my lawn, you little bastards!" Yeah.
So now that we've talked about some of the history here, what say you? What was your first concert?
Oh, I think it was The Who. I was a freshman in high school. It was supposedly their last tour.
Oh, yeah, because they retired again.
Well, they came back a second time minus Pete Townsend, which was also at the Coliseum. But it was The Who.
He was too busy looking at kiddie porn.
Well, he was deaf as a doorknob to also. Yeah, but The Who was my first concert. That was at the Coliseum. Yeah,
my first concert. Okay, I have to say that I had two first concerts, because I went to a concert with my parents, and I don't consider that going to a concert, because you're not going to do any of the stuff that you do at a concert.
You went to a show with your parents is different than going to a concert.
Well, it was Hall & Oates, so it was...
Well, really underrated band, in my opinion. They dominated the 80s, came out of Motown. If you've never seen Live at Daryl's House, man, what a great show that is. Just ZZ Top shows up, CeeLo Green shows up. Unbelievably great stuff. So anyway, I digress.
So I officially say my first concert was Kiss and the Plasmatics.
Oh, you see, now and to back that up just a touch, when I was in, I don't know, fourth, fifth, and sixth grade, everyone there loved Kiss. All the kids I hated loved Kiss. Therefore, I had to hate Kiss. But having gone into the technical theater department and everything like that, I can only imagine that those shows looked effing incredible. They had to be beautifully lit shows. The special effects had to be top notch. So I bet the show itself was phenomenal.
I'm gonna all right, my brother, I think I was 13 when I went to the show. And my brother said that he would drive us because I didn't want my mother to drive us.
God, no. You didn't want your mother to pick you up was the bigger thing.
The only reason that my brother said yes to going was he found out that the Plasmatics were in it.
Wendy Williams, yeah.
Of which I think it was the year before Wendy O. Williams got arrested in Detroit for shoving her microphone up her hoo-ha.
Yes. She had a couple public indecency charges levied against her in her day.
So of course,
Like, I
my
think she would wear whipped cream as a bra, and eventually it would fall off. But yeah, hey, shit happens, right?
my brother, whose favorite band at that time was, I think, Queen.
Not a horrible band to be a favorite band of.
Uh, he was definitely not into Kiss. Uh-oh.
Something overheating?
No, that was my backups unit.
Okay.
I don't know if you heard it going off, but apparently the power went out for a second. But I have backups units on everything, so I don't really worry too much about it. Anyways, so yes, Wendy O. Williams did her show. The how do you say, it was the worst lit show I'd ever seen, right up until Kiss took the stage. Then all of a sudden you were like, oh, where were all those when Wendy was riding up and down on the genie lift?
In a vinyl skirt that was, okay. Yeah, anyway.
What was your favorite band that you ever saw?
Oh, God.
Now we're going. Now you've got to make this decision of who was my favorite band and that I have seen live. Oh.
All right. Yeah. Okay, the Prince show was phenomenal, and Prince was a phenomenal artist. And his guitar playing was damn near on par with Jimi Hendrix. I mean, he was really good. Wait, are you talking shit? Because I mean,
best show you've ever seen.
Okay, Prince would have to be the best show I ever saw. Purple Rain tour was phenomenal. Everything was on point. It was a tight show. Lights were perfect. Everything was perfect. Sound, everything was perfect. The show I enjoyed the most was probably Stevie Ray Vaughan at the Jar Arena at Akron U, just because it was this tiny little venue and this amazing guitar player. I mean, the lighting was okay. The sound was good, but it was fucking Stevie Ray Vaughan. I mean, it's like you were watching a legend play guitar in front of you. But show-wise, the Purple Rain was a absolutely amazing show. The Who's second show at the Coliseum, they used only half of the Coliseum, had a 30-piece orchestra backing them up. Pete Townsend was deaf, and his brother Simon, who was also a guitar player who had a couple albums, played guitar for him. And that was an amazing sounding show. Lighting was okay, but but it sounded phenomenal, and it was good stuff there. Yeah. And Thorogood was a good show too. George Thorogood at Jar Arena was just a fun time.
Okay. The best show I've ever seen. I might have to go with Depeche Mode.
Oh, that probably would be a phenomenal show.
They even, now this was probably 2000s that I saw them.
Yeah, that would be their era.
Right in that era. But they were still using projections. They were one of the first people I've seen use projections in a show.
Like backing screens behind them and shit like that.
Not just that, but
onto them,
onto the scenery that they were standing on.
Huh. What was the venue?
I was in Virginia, so it was, I want to say that it was the Hampton Coliseum. I'm almost positive that it was, but when I was living there, I was doing a lot of shows, so I can't remember off the top of my head. I'd have to actually go and
fair
look
enough.
it up. I think I have to have a tie here, though, because while I was there in Virginia, actually, it was Virginia in 1993.
Okay.
I saw Tears for Fears.
Wow. Shit.
At
Yeah.
Chrysler Hall. Now, I've seen Tears for Fears 5 times.
Nice.
I religiously go and see these guys. I even saw Tears for Fears play at Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas. Mandalay Bay has a stage out in their pool.
Oh shit.
So it's an outdoor concert that you're in the pool and you can swim right up to the stage.
Or the bar.
Or the bar. Well, my sister and I actually sat out on the beach that they had out there, which was right next to the bar. I was close enough to see Roy Orsable, but I was close enough to the bar. Now, my favorite band that I saw was Marillion, but
I can honestly say I'm not familiar with that band.
How do I explain this? I can't really explain it because I'm actually friends with their lighting designer, and if I explain it, somebody's gonna get mad at me. And
You can't even explain the genre of music.
No, I can explain the genre.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Marillion is almost like Pink Floyd.
Okay.
They started in the 70s, were big in the 80s. They wrote an album called Misplaced Childhood, which has the song Kaylee in it, which is the song that I named my daughter after.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's how much influence that this band, well, it could be that this band had a lot of influence on me, or it could be the fact that that album is written as a rock opera. So it's nonstop all the way through. And at the tail end of Kaylee, there's a song that plays that sounds just like Kaylee, but it's called Lavender. And the reason that I named my daughter after that song is because that whole thing is about a hooker. And at that point in time, my ex-wife couldn't keep other people's dicks out of her pussy. So.
Little revenge there.
So to this day, which could be the reason why my daughter doesn't talk to me anymore. But
see, at least my daughter's names are fairly innocent. I have a Samantha and I have a Mackenzie. So I have a Sammy Davis and I have a Mac Davis.
Oh, yeah. Needless to say, this is Scoot from the Cleveland Sports Fan Network, here to tell you about our new lineup for the rest of 2021 and beyond. We still have your favorites like Oshimida and the Fan on Mondays, our flagship show, the Cleveland Sports Fan, on Tuesdays. Wednesday has the Burley Gunner Show. Thursday is the Four Chubs, a roundtable show hosted by Burley Gunner. And on Friday, Pit Road News, a NASCAR, F1, and IndyCar talk show hosted by Scoot, the Cleveland sports fan himself. New episodes every day at 6 a.m. Eastern. Visit us at redcircle.com/Cleveland-sport-fan.
So we've gotten sidetracked here majorly. Where were we?
Well, it's not really sidetracked.
Okay.
I mean,
we were talking about Belkin and stuff like that.
Together. Music brings the world together.
This is true.
So anyway.
Scott was going a trip down memory lane there. Forgive him. He'll be right back.
So anyways, the large venue in Cleveland was the Richfield Coliseum. And the problem with the Richfield Coliseum was the lack of luxury suites.
Or acoustics, or the fact that it was built for sports and not music. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, well, that's beside that. Okay, let's say it like this: the Richfield Coliseum was built in 1960 something. I might have to look this one up, guys. Richfield. I don't even know why I'm doing this, because Burke's going to type it faster.
1974.
1974. Okay. So,
as a replacement for the Cleveland Arena, a seating capacity of 20,273 for basketball.
All right.
And ice hockey. And yes. And sadly, I have been to the spot where the Coliseum used to stand, and is just this field of, you can see bits of concrete and weeds, and it's just big open field of nothing.
And when was Rocket Mortgage?
Rocket Stadium?
Is it Rocket Stadium?
It's at the I don't know. You got Progressive Field, 5th American Airlines Center. I don't even know what the damn thing's called anymore. Rocket Mortgage Field House.
That's it.
Okay. Multi-purpose arena, blah, 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 blah. Which I've been there to see. I've been there once to see one show. That was not Bare Naked Ladies. I'll think of it here in a minute. But anyway, yes, that is literally right downtown.
When was it built?
NBA, Cleveland Monsters, American Hockey, Cavaliers, opened in 1994.
Okay, so
right next to Progressive Field, which is the Indians.
The Richfield Coliseum was built in 1974, did we say?
I believe, yes.
And was defunct in 20 years.
Yeah.
So the building had not outlasted its purpose. But all of the people, i.e. the Cleveland Cavaliers, said that the building couldn't make them any money because there weren't enough business loges.
Ah, that makes sense.
So, hence the fact that they went to build the Rocket Mortgage Field House, whatever you fucking want. Let's just put 400 different names on it. I don't care.
Well, it changes every year. I mean,
why can't you just call it the Cleveland Coliseum? You know, kind of like the Richfield Coliseum.
Because it was in Richfield. It made sense. Oh, yeah, Quicken Loans. It was renamed in 05 or 19. Yeah, whatever. So I believe it is now called Quicken Loans.
So Arena. At the time, the IATSE Union,
okay,
which is your International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees, had the contract. The Akron Union had the contract for the Richfield Coliseum.
Okay.
They also had the contract for the Akron Civic Theater, as well as Tangiers, as well as a couple other venues. there was a lot of backhanded crap that happened with Rocket Mortgage, whatever you want to call it, including a law being passed that no large show could be done within 30 miles of Rocket Mortgage Center, including the IATSE local in Akron. Somehow, I don't know the exact story off the top of my head. I can't remember exactly what happened. I can't remember if there was a union in Cleveland and a union in Akron, which I think is what the issue was. But losing the Richfield Coliseum basically cost about 150 people their jobs.
The Akron guys, yeah.
Yeah. And it locked them down to the Akron Civic Theater and E.J. Thomas Hall because the Jar Arena had not been built yet.
Okay.
So they were kind of,
hurting.
You don't have enough venues for the amount of people that you have on your call list. Anyways, I don't know where we were going with this. So anyways, Rocket Mortgage now becomes the lead venue in Northeast Ohio.
Yep.
There are
indoor. You should say indoor.
Yes.
Blossom's still running strong, but very seasonal.
But one of my friends from high school used to be the general manager out at Blossom, Mark Girton. He's now with AEG out. I think he's running the Staples Center now, or he's vice president or something at AEG. You're talking about a kid who came from Ohio, but he ran the premier amphitheater in the country.
Oh yeah.
Man, and now he's out in LA running the Staples Center. Or actually run part of AEG altogether. It just goes to show you how much influence Cleveland had. Now, here's where things have kind of taken a falter. We're still holding the inductions in New York.
Yeah, there's something in New York, but there's also something that happens in Cleveland.
In Cleveland.
Yeah.
We know who. Okay, I think the way that it works is they announce the winners in Cleveland, but the actual induction is done in New York.
Okay, fair enough.
And there was somebody interesting that won this year. I can't remember who it was, though. I was actually surprised that The Cure made it in.
Oh, nice. Okay.
They made it in last year. It's I think the fact that even Cleveland was kind of the base for Ticketron.
Oh, really?
And let's see. I have to look this up now. I may actually delete what I'm about to say.
You were asking him, just back up, you were asking about the inductees. Tina Turner, Carole King, the Go-Go's, Jay-Z, Foo Fighters, yay, Todd Rundgren, about time, Kraftwerk, god damn, okay, LL Cool J, Randy Rhoads, Billy Preston. Those are the people that made it in for 21.
Randy Rhoads made it in?
Yeah. Musical Excellence Award.
Wow. Ticketron was based in Fort Lee, New Jersey. Okay, so I'm probably gonna work around what I just said there. You said Tina Turner.
Yeah.
There's somebody that surprised me, and it was the Foo Fighters having a local boy like David Grohl.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about him last week.
Yeah, it's good to see a local boy get into the Hall of Fame. He excites me. Have you ever watched any of his shows?
Oh my God, he will have 9-year-old kids come up and play drums in his show. He don't care.
I sat there. He had a 16-year-old girl come up and play guitar the other day, and I'm watching this on YouTube. I'm like, it says, "Damn girl could play."
Oh yeah.
And all of a sudden, he's like, "Okay, here we go." But he's also had this drum war going with this girl named Nanji.
On YouTube during lockdown. Oh, that was great. Wrote a song with her or for her or something, and
something like that.
Oh yeah. He's just not only is a phenomenal player, but just a good dude, just a likable guy. I love him.
There's a lot of bands that you go and work for. I mean, we've talked about the George Clinton thing. Very personal group of guys. They're nice to everyone, but there's definitely some that you just sit back and you're like, oh God,
prima donnas.
Here I go.
Take out the brown M&Ms. Yeah. Okay.
I'm not going to point fingers at Jeffrey Osborne, but Jeffrey Osborne is one of them. But David seems like a very cool guy to work with. Like I said, I've done a lot of one-off concerts with certain people. I've had production managers come running into the lighting booth screaming, "This isn't an EDM show. Fucking quit flashing the fucking lights." You have dickheads now and then, but David Grohl's not one of them. I will honestly say I don't keep working for people that are dicks. There's just you got to have, everyone's out for perfection in the business, but perfection does not always happen.
Yeah, you don't have to be a dick about trying to achieve perfection.
I mean, we have all in America heard the stories about Billy Joel, and he is one guy that I just don't.
Yeah, it was funny because I just watched a Netflix show about drummers and really had no idea how he dicked over like the dude that was in his band for like 30 years. I had no clue, and I'm like, oh, damn it. I gotta hate him now. But yeah, it was kind of sad.
It really is, because he's a gentleman that I would love to work with, for the fact that he's meticulous about the way things look and all that. And I'm kind of, I mean, people don't like working with me because I'm a perfectionist. I need it to look great.
Has anyone ever told you that perfectionism is the antithesis of completion?
I did not know that.
There comes a point where you have to stop and complete. But
that's okay. Yeah. So I was lighting a show. It was a theater musical called Billy Elliot, and I think I had 375 cues in the show. I mean, it was Jesus. Very much music based, and it was because it was all dancing. I was doing a lot of lighting changes to enhance the body, but yet hide certain things. Anyways, so we're in tech for a week.
Oh God.
Before the show opens. And the day before final dress rehearsal, the director comes up to me. He's like, we're not even into Act 2 yet.
Fuck. Like, what? Hold on.
I guess. Now, I will have to. I will say this. I won. In the Dallas-Fort Worth area, they have an awards program that is just for the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and I did win Best Lighting Design for a musical for that show.
Nice. Congratulations.
Everybody, that show was not done being recorded until about 5 minutes before the curtain went up. I spent four days there without going home, without going to bed. Just writing cues, and then you get so tired that you're sitting there after you wrote all this stuff thinking that it's going to be gorgeous, and everyone starts acting in the light that you created, and you're like, fuck.
The fuck was I thinking?
Why is that coming on over there? He's over there. I got fuck.
He missed his cue. Now that was me fucking up. Damn it. Oh man. Yeah.
Rock and roll is so much easier.
Yeah. Just throw up all the bright lights when the drums play. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, okay. God spot on the solos. Yeah, great. Okay, good sounds.
It's totally different nowadays. The computer technology and everything that we have, it actually amazes me how many shows are time coded now. So me being out of lighting for 40 years, do they have lighting consoles now that can take cues from like music and shit like that now? What 3/4 of the light boards used now is time code. So you have a bass machine that runs a click track to the ears of the artist, but it also runs a time code to the soundboard as well as the light board.
Nice. Okay.
And so everything is pre-cued. So like if I'm going to go do a big concert tour, a big tour, say something like Motley Crue.
Okay.
We would move into a warehouse for about a month, and we would go over every song that they have and time code the lighting sequences in for it. So literally your light board operator now is just sitting there babysitting. Like if they change the set list and decide to do Girls, Girls, Girls instead of Home Sweet Home in slot 2, I can be there to punch that in. Boom.
Got it. Okay.
Punch the page in. But I'm also there to run blinders or house lights, or, if somebody isn't in the right spot, I can go and bring up an area.
Got it. Yeah.
So, but almost everything now is time coded. And it almost has to be, you start to think about it, each of your lighting fixtures nowadays have 10, 12, 24, 37 channels.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, you got pan, you got tilt, you've got red, green, blue, cyan, magenta, yellow, all these different channels. And it's almost to the point now where running a live show is just not, it's no bueno anymore.
It's all the preparation. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and the The problem with that is that you get a lot of these one-off shows. What we call a one-off show is a show that I go into a venue that morning, I set up lighting, a band comes in, does sound check, we do a show, we pack the shit up, we go home, we never see each other again.
That's going to be a little rough.
And that's, yeah, but that's almost, I mean, because of the fact that there aren't big tours going out now.
Oh, yeah.
That's your bread and butter. I mean, that's the only way that you're going to feed your family right now. So, yeah. Like I said, Jules Belkin was a fabulous thing for certain things. But the man was there to make money for himself, not for us lighting designers or stagehands. But
although it was a sound guy, hold on.
Yes, he was.
No. It was a sound man for Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons.
Yes,
turned him on to rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
Roy Clare is the guy's name. Suggested that they consider doing rock and roll. Said it was going to be big business, and after that, they started doing the shows in Toledo and Akron and Cleveland. And those until it's their deaths, they were great friends because pointed them in the right direction.
There was a lot of money that went through Jules Belkin's hands. I don't want to necessarily say that he was a billionaire, but he had billions of dollars go through his hands.
Oh God, yeah.
It may only be in his hands for about 10 minutes before he hands it over to an artist, but that's okay. He created the touring business the way that it is now. And Jules and Mike were brilliant about how to save money, how to get a show with 4 artists into one truck. You know, and that's, ladies and gentlemen, that's why Cleveland is the rock and roll capital of the world.
Well, the one brother was good at logistics.
That would be
the other brother was good at promotion,
and that was Jules.
And then being that they're related, when you get those two brothers together, that's a force to be reckoned with, man. That's thank goodness they were there, man.
I mean, when I met Jules, I was young, dumb, and stupid, and really,
now you're old, dumb, and stupid. But go ahead.
And really didn't realize how important this man was. The fact that there were probably 4,000 people getting a paycheck because of this man. None of that set in, you know. I walked up to him and gave him a high five, said, "Hey, how's it going? What are you doing, buddy? Who are you?" "I'm just an electrician."
I'm plugging in some lights.
What the hell are you doing talking to me? Yeah, it's important. It's important. No, Jules was actually very nice. And he would, if you ran into Jules on a setup or something like that, and it was your break time, you would not get anything done on your break time because he would just sit there and talk to you. But that was it. I mean, he got, I can honestly say it was a Belkin production show that made me sit back and say, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Guys, kind of sounds like Robbie Benson in a way.
What do you mean?
I did a show at the theater in downtown Akron there at the Civic,
with Robbie.
With Robbie Benson and his wife Carla DeVita.
Robbie,
do you remember Carla DeVita?
I remember Carla DeVita, and I actually did a couple of shows with Robbie Benson.
Nice. Okay, but anyway,
Kenley Players.
Yeah, that was doing Kenley Players at the time also. But yeah, me and Craig, they had a daughter named Lyric, and Lyric was having her 7th birthday, and Craig and I were invited to the party, and so we were out finding a gift for little Lyric, and we're in Summit Mall at a toy store.
Scum
At the very back of the store with our backs to the front, and then from behind us we hear, "Hey Burke, hey Craig," and we're like, "What the fuck is that?" We turn around and it's Robbie Benson. We're like, A, how do you know our names? B, how do you know our names from behind? And C, why are you bothering to talk to us? But yeah, it's super nice folks. Just nice.
I was doing a Kenley Players show, and I'm trying to remember this gentleman's name. He was in The Odd Couple, the TV show, the old TV show.
Okay, that was Jack Klugman.
Who's the other guy?
Oh, son of a bitch! I don't remember. God damn it!
It was the other guy.
The other guy, the effeminate guy.
Yeah, I keep wanting to say his name was Tony something, but
yes, yeah, you are correct. And I can't find it yet. My phone is failing me. Tony. God damn it. Yes, but anyways, go ahead. Tony was in the show you were in. Tony Randall.
We were. I think we were doing the show at Tangiers. I can't remember now. John Kenley did a bunch of shows out at a restaurant called Tangiers.
Restaurant selling it short. I mean, it was kind of it had a restaurant, yes.
It was a state-of-the-art venue, though.
And it also had a really nice stage with amphitheater kind of style seating and ballrooms and shit like that. Yeah, it was a kind of a complex almost. Near west side of Akron, near downtown.
Yeah. Well, John used to produce there. He used to produce over at Carousel. He used to produce all over the place. As a matter of fact, I think his spin-off of Phantom of the Opera was done out at Carousel, which everyone got really, really mad at because they thought it was going to be the real Phantom of the Opera, and no, it was John Kenley's version of Phantom of the Opera. I love John. Anyways, Tony Randall.
We could do a whole show on John. Jesus Christ. But anyway, Tony Randall.
I didn't run into him at Scummit. I ran into him at a restaurant in downtown Akron, and he recognized it was the crew. It was right down. I cannot remember the name of this restaurant now. This is Scoot from the Cleveland Sports Fan Network, here to tell you about our new lineup for the rest of 2021 and beyond. We still have your favorites like Oshimida and the Fan on Mondays, our flagship show, the Cleveland Sports Fan, on Tuesdays. Wednesday has the Burley Gunner Show. Thursday is the Four Chubs, a roundtable show hosted by Burley Gunner. And on Friday, Pit Road News, a NASCAR, F1, and IndyCar talk show hosted by Scoot, the Cleveland sports fan himself. New episodes every day at 6 a.m. Eastern. Visit us at redcircle.com/Cleveland-sport-fan. It was down the street from Tangiers. And
talking about the steakhouse?
Yeah, it was the steakhouse.
The famous steakhouse in Akron that neither of us can remember.
I can't for the life of me remember.
That place that place is kind of like if you didn't have money on you, you could leave your business card there and hook them up next time. If you knew people who knew people, you were getting free stuff.
It
was kind of the diamond
people
Not the
People
Diamond.
loving people.
Yeah, was it called the Diamond Steakhouse?
I think it was.
Was that it?
Ah, I heard it in the background. Yes. was that Nancy or was it Sam?
Yeah, the Diamond Grill.
The Diamond Grill.
Yes.
So we were at the Diamond Grill, and Tony walked in and recognized all of us and came over, sat down, and ate dinner with all of us.
The crew.
I'm like, this is Tony Randall, dude. I used
This guy's
to
been on
watch-
Broadway. He's been on TV, and
I
he's
used
hanging
to
out
watch
with
you
the
on
grunts.
TV. I mean, you used to do a show with Quincy. Now I do have to go back to John now because you got me thinking about John.
Oh dear God, we can't go down this avenue. It's just
John was a fabulous character, and he loved Ohio. He never wanted to live anyplace else. He loved Ohio.
he should have been more at home in New York City, but didn't want to leave the state for some reason.
I mean, think about it. You have a producer from Cleveland, Ohio, who wins the honorary award, the honorary Tony Award for achievement in the art. That's an amazing thing. It's only given out once a year. It's only given to one person. And John Kenley won it. And we worked with him. Now, he was crazy. Don't get me wrong, people. He was absolutely flat ass nuts. And he had some of the best parties I've ever seen in my entire life. And I'm
And on a personal note, man, he was a weird dude.
John, I was at a party at John's house.
You've never met a whiter person.
And John's like, come on in, everybody. It's a happy time. It's a happy time. And about halfway through the night, he walks up to me. He's like, are you gay? I'm like, no, I'm straight. He said, by the time you leave this house, you'll be gay. And I just, okay.
Well,
It was
aren't there oh God, how do I phrase this? Aren't there unsubstantiated claims that he was a hermaphrodite?
It's not unsubstantiated. He was.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
And that's actually written in his biography.
Okay.
Anyways, I went to that party with. Okay, man. Now we're really seriously going down memory lane here. The lighting designer that John used to love to use was Tom Skelton.
Yes.
And I worked under Tom from like 1987 to 1990. He was a fabulous teacher. Both him and Paul Dahm were extremely good at teaching lighting. And what I loved about working with Tom was that he was heavy in dance, and that was where I always wanted my life to go. I loved the color. I loved the saturation that's used
movement.
in dance.
Yeah.
But I also love to accentuate the body and make it a part of the music that's being played. So the dance becomes one with the music. Anyways, that was...
and then you gotta play with shadows at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a lot more technically difficult, but a lot more fun.
So Tom is taking me to this party over at John's house, and Tom's partner at the time. I think they had been together for like 30 years. Did not go with us, but forewarns me ahead of time. Whatever you do, don't get cornered by John.
Those are just words to live by anytime you do theater. Don't get cornered by the director. Don't get
Whatever
cornered.
you do.
Don't get cornered by.
If you do get cornered, don't turn around. Hug the wall. Hug the wall.
Eventually you'll find a door. Use it.
Oh wow. Yeah. Tony Randall was nice.
Yep.
Jeffrey Osborne wasn't.
Robbie Benson was.
Okay.
Carla DeVito was.
So okay. I know that it's getting late, but I'm gonna tell another story. And this story isn't actually about Ohio. This was.
Oh, shame on you.
Oh man, I've been drinking Maker's Mark. What do you want? I'm on like my third 33 ouncer.
This may be the last can of this 6-pack. I'm not quite sure.
Is that the citrus one?
This is still the grapefruit one, yes, and it is fabulous.
Well, there's a place here in
where you live?
What time? Yeah, by where I live, called Halls, and they import. I love that. They import beer from other states.
Ooh, actually, in Texas, that is tough. So yeah, okay.
But I can get Great Lakes there, so I'm gonna go by and see if I can find this beer. Anyways,
no, this is not the Great Lakes. This is from Columbus.
That was like a Bird Dog or something like that.
Oh crap! I got more of them. What the heck?
Is it Bird Dog? What's it called?
Brew Dog. Elvis Juice.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna try that. Anyways, yeah. Anyway, so I'm
very drinkable.
I took a job at the Virginia Opera in Norfolk, Virginia. I was actually hired to over the summer clean out all of their lighting instruments and re-bench focus all of them to make them perfect. Well,
okay.
While I was doing this project, a guy named David Latham, who was their production manager, came up to me. He was like, "Hey, we're about to do a Lou Rawls show here. Can you help with the lighting since we've taken all the lights down?" I said, "Yeah, I can help with you. I can set something up for your show." So I go and set up all of this stuff, and Lou gets there. He doesn't do sound check with him. You know, he has somebody else do sound check.
Okay.
So I'm there in the light booth, and his lighting guy comes up, and he's like, "I don't know how to use this light board." And I said, "Okay, well, I can do it for you." So his production manager comes up, and he's like, "Oh, you're running lights? Yeah. Just tell me what you want, and I'll give you what you need." So I do the whole show. I'm about to leave, and Lou Rawls walks up to me. Like, "You'll never find."
Yeah.
Scott. I think I need you to come with me.
Oh, fuck.
I said, "Is your name John Kenley?" So I proceed to leave the Virginia Opera and go play with Lou Rawls for the rest of, well, until he basically croaks.
Jesus.
Sorry, Lou. Well, Lou knew that I was a crass man and had no problem swearing on the headset.
And just appreciated that.
I think he appreciated the dickheadedness that I have in me. He was the first star that I got to actually have like really in-depth conversation with, which makes it a totally different show. Like, you kind of have a different feeling about how they want their music to be heard. Yeah, so it was, yeah. He was an interesting man to work with. I don't know how I got on him, but
from John Kenley of all things.
For all you John Kenley fans, I didn't actually get on him.
You never know. You might have missed out on the night of your life.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna open Pandora's box now.
God, now.
I told you, I'm beers into. As a matter of fact, everyone,
your bourbon's into this conversation. I'm only beers in.
We're gonna take a break here for a second because I have to go reload. We'll be right back.
That would. And we're back.
Okay, I have to open Pandora's box now.
Oh, good Lord.
God, I have to. I have always had a very simple rule in the world of entertainment. And that's
and I can tell you what's not. It's probably not don't come where you eat, but
well, there was always the 250-mile rule. If you were more than 250 miles away from home, anything was fair game. But I never really stood by that. I never slept with anyone that was involved in a show that I was in until I was no longer under contract.
Oh, yeah, that's probably a fairly decent rule to follow.
I had to come up with this rule. Because of the Eileen Brennan show.
Did we go over this before?
Well, I have a bad feeling we're about to go over it again. So I was doing this show at Virginia Stage Company. It was called Beauty Queen of Lebanon. It's a fabulous show. Starred a woman named Bernadette Quigley, and the other lady was Eileen Brennan. Oh, Eileen.
Now, to preface this, before Scott did this show, he took a trip to Ohio and hung out with Carl and
Burke
and some other folks and proclaimed, "I'm gonna fuck Eileen Brennan." Then the three of us looked at him like, "Do you know how old she is at this point in time? Do you know what she looks like at this point in time?" No, I'm gonna, to the point of, on my phone, Scott's picture is Eileen Brennan because it's Eileen Brennan. Please go for it.
Now remember, ladies and gentlemen, my time at the Virginia Stage Company. When was I? I was there in 1998, 99.
Sounds about right.
It was a fabulous time there. The artistic director was Charlie Hensley, who is still a very, very good friend of mine. I talk to him a lot. I love the man to death. I still won't sleep with you, Charlie.
Even though you're not under contract. Oh, wait, you're fair game now. Hold on.
So remember, in the 90s, we had the internet, yes, but
Ish.
kind of. It wasn't like
if you bought a $2,000 computer and you got the AOL disc that gave you 30 free days, yes, you had the internet.
oh yeah, and the only search engine online was Yahoo.
No,
which
no, it wasn't. Yahoo wasn't even invented at that point in time. It was more like, Christ, what was it? God, my head hurts even thinking about that. Not Gopher, but it was something like that. But anyway.
Yahoo. So anyways, there's no way for a person who
fondly remembers Eileen Brennan in her heyday.
Hey, Yahoo was around. It was built in 1994. So I may have used Yahoo, but I still had to do it with that AOL bing ding
phone modem hookup.
So there's no way to know what a person looks like unless you saw the movie Clue.
True.
Or something like that. I had not seen the movie Clue. I remember Eileen Brennan from Private Benjamin.
Or FM. She was hot in FM.
That's, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I digress.
Anyway.
I digress. Yeah, no way for me to know. I walked into that theater. They wheeled her in a wheelchair. And the first thing that shot into my head was, oh, fuck, Burke's going to laugh his ass off. Now, one of my good friends still to this day, his name is Alan. I will not say his last name to protect him.
Protect the innocent. Wheel her out.
Now, Alan kind of knew the idiotic things that Scott said to Burke and Carl one night. So he proceeded. Alan was the company manager at the time, so he's the one that goes and picks up the artists and all that stuff and makes sure that they have housing and all that stuff. So he very politely, I guess I would say, decided that it was appropriate to tell Eileen about the bet.
What a guy. And you call him your friend, yes?
Now, this show ran for 4 weeks. And we had a week of rehearsal for tech that I was the stagehand for. I was the stage boy who turned the gas on and off for the oven. And I proceeded to make sure that Miss Brennan was able to get to her wheelchair when she came off stage. Of which, every time I felt a hand go down the back of my pants. She was extremely polite about it and said, "Thank you, Scott."
In her own personable way.
Meanwhile, in the back of my head, all I can think of is Burke and Carl sitting in the sauna laughing. It was a very long show run, of which I was not privy to the fact that she knew about
the bet.
Until she told me the last night.
Now that's a consummate professional if I've ever heard.
Now, the problem with the way that she told me was that she said she was willing to do her part.
I mean, if you got to win a bet, you got to win a bet. That's a trooper. That. Oh, shit. I'm fucking crying now, man.
So, with that said, the next time that I went to Ohio, which was in 2019, 20 years later, hoping that Burke would have forgot about it, we went to a party at my friend Bob's house. Everyone got together, sat around. First thing Burke brings up. I remember when you almost slept with Eileen Brennan.
Son of a bitch.
And ever since that day, I never slept with anyone on a show again.
So that's where that rule came from. It's the Eileen Brennan rule.
I said I was going to open Pandora's box. I was seriously going to sit back and talk about how in this day and age it's still okay for people in the entertainment industry to make sexual advances towards people, especially when they're gay. Like, the gay people are not getting persecuted in this at all. The straight guys are.
Okay.
But the gay guys aren't. And that just got me to start thinking about the fact that, man, I almost slept with Eileen Brennan in a wheelchair. Would I have to carry her to the bed?
The mechanics escape me. I don't know.
Or do I call the company manager, Alan, to help with that?
Is there rigging involved in this?
Hey, Alan, bring your wife.
Some block and tackle and, I don't know, some pool noodles. I don't know.
She can grab the hanging bits. Okay.
The wheelchair go back and forth. I don't know. Oh God.
Yeah.
That sounds like a really good note.
That sounds like a fabulous note to end this on.
Yes, it does.
I don't know if it gets any better than that. I was actually, I will say this. Her family, one of her family members did contact me when she died. So she had kept my phone number in her phone, which was cool.
That's kind of sweet. I won't lie.
She was a fabulous woman, ladies and gentlemen. Our actors' housing was about 4 blocks away from the theater, and we used to walk. And she would hand out $20 bills to the homeless people all the way.
Damn.
And I mean, I'm sure she wasn't rich when it when it came down to the end, but she was a good woman. Anyways, on that note, we're going to get out of here. This is Davis and Davis, the law firm that doesn't do law.
And we are out of here.
Good night, everyone.
Owning a boat comes with a number of perks, like being able to say, ahoy, or land ho, and not feel weird about it. So here's another perk. Geico's boat insurance offers access to the largest towing fleet on the water. And with specialist support from agents that are as passionate about boating as you are, there's so much value that you'll want to say, shiver me timbers, and not feel weird about that either. Get more with Geico.